Greetings, Padawan parents and kids if you're watching this. True, here I am with a child and I have a problem, if you parents can relate. Every time I ask this child a question, I get one-word answers like yes, no, sure, whatever. Is that 2 words? Don't know. Anyways, it's annoying me. No matter how curious I am like a child, I can't get my kids to talk to me. That's okay. We're gonna go to the planet of Babu and we're gonna learn a new technique and strategy to better connect with our kids, create meaningful connections and stuff. Into the rocket ship we go.
What's up guys, thank you for checking out this video. There's gonna be some cool entrepreneurial tips and tricks here. This is part of the Kidpreneurship course for parents I recorded. So if you want to check out the entire course, module 1 is right over here. Or you can check out our regular actual YouTube videos which shares tips, tricks, roadmap strategies to help you build profitable businesses. Lastly, this is a non-for-profit YouTube channel, so 100% of YouTube AdSense revenue will be donated to legal registered charities that support youth entrepreneurship. So the more we share, the more we care. Thank you so much for your support and let's get on with the video. Peace. What's up guys, welcome to module 4.2. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys can relate to Yoda right there because I have asked my kids questions, especially back in the day, and all I get was these one-word responses. And it's as if sometimes I feel like I'm asking them a question and then on the way to their ear, some black hole opens up, sucks up the question and sends it to the outer limit of some multiverse. Yeah. And so this is frustrating and I remember always feeling frustrated in this moment and then angry as well. But then I even get into this kind of like feeling myself insecure again and feeling I'm a failed parent again. And then I get back to it and I think, you know what? This is a test. This is a sign. This is something. And rather than taking it personally, I realized that even them not saying anything at all is information. It's something that's being sent to me and what do I need to do with it, right? And so what's incredible now is that because I've learned that and I'm always investing to figure out how to connect better with my kids, and those of you who watch the module 1.2, I mean 6 of my 7 kids are my stepkids, so imagine dealing with that. Let me tell you a story actually. Guys, it is storytelling time. Gather around, gather around, gather around. Yeah, here we go. And years ago when they first came to my life, one of the daughters slammed the door into my face. I know. And what was crazy was I didn't know what I did. And I remember the word she said too. She says, I didn't ask for you to be a part of my life. You only care about my mother. You don't care about me. I was like, holy cow, this is crazy. And I could even see how I could even establish a decent connection with my kids. But now, let me tell you a story. This here, we're not gonna really worry about the board here, but essentially it's the board that represents me. I kind of went through this exercise and I love fatherhood, entrepreneurship, and health and wellness. And under fatherhood, I asked my kids, like, what do you think I would be great at talking about? And I asked them to write it down. And what's great is they have things like fatherhood mindset, raising stepkids, raising 7 kids with time management, you know? But this is my favorite part, this one right here. Maintaining open dialogue. Truth be told, I teared up when I first saw it, and I just didn't think it was ever possible. And now my kids and I have incredible conversations, and it's great that we are at a point where we do and we can discuss the entrepreneurial lens into the world and also discuss the entrepreneurial perspective that they see themselves as part of this world. Again, I mentioned from first module, we're not here to force entrepreneurship into my kids or our kids, but it's to share a way of thinking. And one day, maybe it's gonna happen, right? And you know, you give a bit of a push of inspiration and belief, but at the end of the day, we just want to make sure they have this perspective and the way of thinking and the right habits, all that stuff, right? So now how do I get there? And it's quite simple because I'd be curious if you were to ask your kids, what can mommy and daddy or uncle, whoever, your guardian, right, be good at talking about when it comes to raising kids? And then even ask, what would I suck at, right? And that'd be pretty cool too, because we've had this conversation as well, right? I love their constructive criticism of me as a parent, right? So pretty cool. But there are 3 phases and it does relate to a rocket ship. And the rocket ship, basically, and editors, feel free to throw B-roll of a rocket ship, of a space shuttle launching at NASA, but there's 3 steps. There's the engine ignite, then it becomes acceleration, then it goes to space and it orbits, the orbital stage, right? And the very beginning of the launch is really difficult. It takes up a lot of resources to like boosters and a massive fuel fuel tank attached to it. And it's pretty insane how much effort and energy it takes to actually launch a spaceship. And in our case, it feels that heavy as well in the beginning to launch into meaningful conversations with your kids. And the reason it's heavy is that in case of the rocket ship, our version of it is these boosters and this massive fuel tank could be things like trust issues, could be things like feeling judged, could be something like feeling disconnected. It's a whole slew of problems and challenges that prevent us from having an amazing liftoff to have great conversations with your kids and for them to actually answer your questions with more than a yes, no, right? So how did I go from having my kids slam their door in my face and give me like yes, no answers to now having really fruitful conversations? The trick is in the beginning, I don't like to say the word trick because I don't want to sound manipulative, but it's really powerful approach is that, I'm not here to manipulate, really. I know some people would perceive it as that, but they know my intentions. It's very, very loving. Yes, really. So what I do with my kids, and I'm sure there's other approaches, but because I was their step parent, I felt finding common ground, positive common ground was a great place to start, right? And something really simple and easy was food. Like they would get in the car and I'm like, yo guys, you guys hungry? Right? So starting with yes, no questions, a series of yes, no questions where the answer takes you closer to the final destination that you want, which is eating, right? It's positive. It's not like resistance. It's actually a movement closer to where you want to go. And so what I love about that is in this case, it's one question is, hey, you hungry? Yes. Yo guys, I'm starving too. Once you ask a series of questions that is, once it's answered yes, no, and gets you closer to where you want to be, next is to offer choice questions, right? And choice questions are something like, all right guys, you want to just go home, drop off our stuff and go eat right away? Or do you want to go home and have a quick snack and then we could go eat afterwards? What do you want to do, right? And so then they say, oh, let's go home, drop our stuff, and then go and eat. Okay, great. What's next? Do you want to have Italian, Greek, Lebanese, pizza? Oh, cool, Greek, awesome. So then we get to the Greek food and the restaurant we're eating. The final part of this, after asking the choice questions, is to celebrate or I would say validate, depending what your discussion is all about. And in this case, like, yo, dude, Alex, thanks for saying Greek. This is like hits a spot. We're all loving it. We're having a good time. High five, and I end on a high note. That's it. I don't try to take that momentum and try to squeeze in something I really want to talk about, right? Because that's not what it's all about. For me, it's about seeing the long kind of like term relationship with these kids, a lifelong relationship, and I don't want to rush it. I want to make sure we connect truly and authentically, and I want to make sure as the adult, I'm providing this space for us to co-create a relationship together, right? So that is to get liftoff. If you do this consistently, it will start to lift off. Next is acceleration. Acceleration for me is about finding what's meaningful to them. What do they value? And these are about choice questions. More on when we know what people choose and why they choose things, we learn more about what they value. And I take this from something called value inquiry, which I learned like 20 years ago from today, like literally 20 years ago from today. And it's about asking questions to learn about your customers, not just what features that they buy for, but those features come from somewhere. The reason they want it comes from a need, comes from a story. And we dive deeper into that, we learn what they value. That's what I think is really important, right? And so when you start asking a series of questions where you learn about the choice they make, and not just talking about what they want to buy or what they want to eat, even the words that they say. So I've even said things where I noticed either I triggered them or they're like, I see hope in them. I would simply ask them like, hey guys, like, what did you feel when I said these words? Especially if I didn't like it, I would say, what do you recommend me saying instead? Because that was not my intention. So you start learning even the words that they value and the words that bring positivity in their lives. So all this is a process of getting acceleration and into orbit. So before jumping into orbit, because that's going to be the next module, it's an entire process on its own, it's an entire framework on its own. But think about right now where you're with your kids and how much do you know about your kids and what they value, not only from a value perspective, but from like what they want to choose, what they want to buy, what problems matter to them, which two problems that they talk about that do they value more. So you start learning about where they put more attention to. Even with my kids right now, it's really cool to hear them say, I don't want to go out and eat. I want something quick and healthy because I want to finish my homework, or I want to do this project. I want to finish video editing. I start learning how they prioritize their time and how they value things. And I catalog this in my head, right? Eyes, head, So anyways, think about it and then go through the list of questions that's downloadable somewhere here. Again, it's a massive document, almost like a worksheet even, and has all the different types of questions that I've used and leveraged. And you could take it, modify, test it, and I'm almost guaranteeing you that if you continue this process and stay committed to it, it will open up a space for great possibilities of great connection. And once you get there, I know I'm going like crazy here. I'm just so excited. The next one, the next module, 4.3, is about the entrepreneurship lens. What are the type of questions that you can engage with your kids to inspire the perspective of an entrepreneur? All right, much love, guys. Let's rock and roll. And we got liftoff.